Hi everyone. Good morning, guys. All of you. Guys, I'm audible. Okay, right, guys. So yesterday we started object privileges, and we taken out one example of how the database administrator want to give object privileges to user. Okay. So in this, the two categories here. So one is administrator, how he was giving privileges to user, and grantor and grantee, and later user to user. So when a user want to give so admin permissions, sorry, object privileges to another user, then how we can go to give it here, observe. So in this case, when we want to go for this, let us see. So our administrator is what now? Scott. Okay, now, so I connect with my admin. We are connecting with administrator. And after that, let me see, guys, here. I'm creating user, so create user, suppose user 11, identified by U11. So these are, I think, users are there here. Fine. So let you see, guys, here. The sort administrator, he will be created for new user. So the username is create user U11, identified by U11. The user is created. Okay, in the same pattern. So one more user I'm creating here. So user number 12, identified by user number 12. So there are two users we created and the new users. One username is U11 and one username is U12. So these are the two users we created here. So after created these two users, okay, let me see, guys, here. Now, the admin will give the connectivity permissions to this user. So connect to U11 and in the same to same grant connect to U12. So both are having the connectivity permissions, guys. Okay, let me see, guys. Now user, okay, user 11, he was connected. So he was successfully connected. As well as user 12 is also connected. Right. The both users are connected here and both users are having connectivity permission. and U11 and U12, they both use are successfully connecting to your Oracle database. Okay, now fine. So after connecting here, now what we want to do, suppose U11 want to give some object privileges to user 12. Okay, user 11 want to give some object privileges to user 12. Then how it was? Let you see guys here. So for example, first of all, your Scott administrator was giving some granting permissions. So grant select on DPT to U11. We are carefully observe your admin was giving the grant select permission on DEPT table to whom here to user 11. So he will be grant succeeded. Okay, no? Grant succeeded. Fine. Then later what it will happen, the user 11, so he will be accessing the admin table. So select star from the spot.dept. So he was accessed now. So the table data he can access because the permission was taken by your user 11 from your administrator. Okay, fine. But here the admin was given, carefully observe. Here admin was given the grant select permission on DEPT table to user 11 only, not user 12. So user 12 is not getting any permissions on this table. So user 11 only, so he will get the permission from the administrator. Okay, fine. So after getting the permission from the administrator, let me see guys here. So now this user 11, he was trying to give the same privileges, whatever the privilege he was taken from your administrator, the same privileges he tried to give to, or he tried to giving to your user number 12. So now he was writing like that. So grant select on which table spot.dept table to whom to user 2. So that means here what it was happening, user 11 is connected, right? User 11 is connected and user 11 try to giving select permission, grant select permission on DEPT table to user number 12. Okay, but what it was happening, you can see. I entered, but what it was telling, insufficient privileges. So that means user 11, he cannot give object privileges to another user. So because of reason, user 11 is not having the permissions to giving object privileges to user 12. Okay, so the permissions are not there. Then how user want to give permissions to another user? So what we want to do for this? Okay, what we want to do for this? Now we can upstream. So whenever, okay, here 1 point. So whenever a user want to give object privileges, object privileges to an other user, then otherwise, whenever the user one want to give object privileges to another user, so to user privileges to user number 2, then user one must be okay. Then user one must be take permission, take permissions or take permission from database admin, by using with grant option, statement. Okay, so this is important point guys here. So what I'm saying here, whenever a user one Okay, otherwise, whenever user one want to give object privileges to user two, object privileges to user two, then user one must be receive. Otherwise, in place of take, I'm taking now receive. So he want to receiving or receive. He want to receiving permission from admin, permission from admin by using what now with the grant option statement. So with the grant option statement through, if user is received permissions from administrator, then only user has a chance or user has a right. Okay, then only user have a right to give privileges to another user. Okay, the point understanding now. So what I'm saying here, if a user, that means one user want to give object privileges to another one must and should be receiving, or he must and should be receive the permissions from the administrator with which statement, with the grant option statement. With the grant option statement. So with the grant option statement, whenever user one is receiving permissions from administrator, then user one have a privilege, have a right to give permissions to another user. Okay, now, so then only possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, but here what it was happening, this user 11 was taking grant select on DEPT to user 11. Okay. So we are taking granting permission from administrator. Okay. So generally we are taking what happened here. Normally we are taking permission, but here when admin want to give permissions to user 11, when administrator want to give permissions to user 11, so this administrator is not using with the grant option statement in this. Okay. So without using grant option statement, administrator, what he was going to do, he was directly giving permissions to this user. So that what happened, only user 11 only can accessing your table data, and user 11 only can accessing your table data. But user 11 is not having a privilege, is not having a right to give that object privileges to another user. So it is not possible. And here it was saying that user 11 is insufficient privileges. That means user 11 doesn't have a permission or doesn't have a right to give these permissions to another user. Okay. So this is what it was happening. That means what we want to do now, a user want to give permissions to another user. Compulsory user one should be take permissions from the administrator with the which statement I said grant option statement. With the grant option statement we need to receive here. Then only user 11 will get a right to give a permissions to another user. Okay, let me see. So now come out the carefully observe. So our administrator, okay, Scott, and he was going to be revoking your permission, whatever you was given. Select on DEPT. Okay, from user 11. Okay, so the permissions are revoked here. Now he was giving permission. So grant select. Okay, on careful observe DEPT to whom to user 11. But now he was giving permissions with the statement is what now with grant option. Yes, my point understand now. So now administrator is giving grant select permission on DEPT table user 11 with along with which statement here grant option statement along with grant option statement. So grant option statement advantage is what now? So whenever a user received permissions from the administrator with the grant option statement, then that user is have a right to give permissions to another user. So my point is understanding now. So now here observe. Now this time your administrator was giving permissions to user 11 with the grant option statement. Then what happened? You can see So grant is succeeded. Grant is succeeded. Now you can connect with the U11 connected and let you call select star from spot.dept. Yes, user 11 successfully was accessing, and now he was trying now. Observe. Now grant select on spot.dept to user 12. Now tell me guys here, now user 11 can give a permissions now. Come on guys. Now user 11 can give permissions to user 12 now. Now you can see what happened. You can see. Yes. Now what happened? Grant succeeded. So your grant succeeded. Who was given grant succeeded here? User 11 was given to user 12. So that means so user 11 was successfully connected, and this user 11 was granting permissions to user 12. But this user 11, how you will be give it means he was received from the administrator. He was received from the administrator with the grant option statement. With which option statement? Grant option statement. So with the grant option statement, whenever user received permissions from the administrator, then that user has a right to give the privileges to user 12. So carefully, you can see the arrow marks. Okay. So what happened first? User 11 was taken permission from the administrator. Okay, with grant option statement. Okay, user 11 was taken that. So when he was taking permissions with the grant option statement from database administrator, then user 11 also having a right. Okay, then user 11 also having a right. Okay, to give the same permissions on same table to user 12. Understanding now? So now, okay, sir, that's fine. Now what happened? Now we can see to connect your user number 12, he was connected. And let me see, he's also calling now, select star from spot.dpt. Now he can also access. Now he can also access. Okay, now? Right. Now, okay, fine. So now this is the mechanism. We are giving permissions from one user to another user. So user to user permissions, how we will be give it means compulsory we should use it with the grant option statement. With the grant option statement, whenever we are using, okay, so then the advantage of with the grant option statement means what now? So that user have a right to give permissions to another user. That is a mean by okay with the grant option statement. But here carefully observe. Okay, fine. The U11 is successfully done. Suppose the person, okay, U11, okay, he was, again, he tried to give it another permission, grant, for example, insert on spot.dpt to user 12. So now he was trying to give one more permission, user 11 will give one more permission. The permission is what now? Insert permission. Okay, to whom? User 12. So user 11 is granting insert permission on DEPT table to user 12. So what happened? You can see insufficient privileges. Why guys? Why user 11 can't give one more object privileges to the same table to same user? Why he can't give it? Any guessing? Come on, guys. Any guessing? Here, why he can't give it insert permission means, first of all, tell me user 11 is having which permission he was taken from administrator, which permission was taken from administrator. Come on, from administrator, from database admin, your user 11 was taken. Which permission? Which permission? Which permission? Select permission only it was taken. Understand my point now? Select permission only he was taken. So that's why he have a right to give the same select permission to other user. Okay now? But user 11 can't give insert, update and delete permissions to other user. Why? Because user 11 he is not having those rights. The point understand of you. That's why use
Recording in progress.
option statement. Okay, so this is what we called as, guys, here user to user and admin to user. How we can give object privileges means, so that we check it out. But one point should be remember, whenever a user one want to give permissions to user two, compulsory with the grant option statement is mandatory. So without this statement, if user is received permissions from the administrator, then that user doesn't have any right to give permissions to other user. Okay now? So when a user want to give permissions to other user, compulsory your user, that means first user must and should be receive permissions from admin with the grant option statement. Then only he can give it. Otherwise, he cannot give. Okay now? So this is object privileges. Okay, so the working nature, how we can give the permissions to other users. Okay now, right? And the next one is, okay, the next topic is, these are the user related information we discussed. And the next one is roles. So what is role? Okay, next one is what now? Roles. And what is role? And generally these roles are, okay, why and who will be created. The purpose of role is what, let you see, guys. Okay, so role is nothing but, guys, here, first of all, the definition is what, no? A role is a collection of system or object privileges. System or object privileges or assigning assigning to to group of users. Okay, now the role is a collection of system or object privileges or assigning to group of users at a time. Okay, now this is role advantage. For example, let me see. Suppose when you are working in a company, suppose are you working in a company? So whenever you are working in a company, okay, right. So role is nothing but what I said. A role is a collection of system or object privileges. Those are assigning to group of people or group of users at a time. Okay. So in which situation this one is going to be using as means? For example, let you see. Are you working in a company? So generally what it was happen in software field, we all of you know, we are going to be developing projects. Okay, we are going to be developing project. So we all of you know that whenever you want to develop a project, okay, it's not like that only one person can develop entire the project, right? So it's not like that. So project, if I want to develop, means it's a teamwork. It's not only one developer can project, means impossible. So it is a group of people working on the project. So first of all, generally what it was going to be happen whenever we want to take some projects from the client. Okay, so your project lead, who is the lead of your project, or else the managers or some companies managers will be deal projects. Some companies are separate project managers are there. So the project managers and project leads, what they will take here, first they want to take the project, and those project will be analyzing. After analysis, they will be taking here how many modules are there. So they are divided into some modules. For example, your project will be divided into 3 modules, guys. Okay, your project is having how many modules? 3 modules are there. So in this 3 modules, okay, what it will happen? Every module or each module will be assigning to some group of employees in a company. Okay, so your project is there. The project is having 3 modules. Okay, they divided into 3 modules, and each module, okay, your project leader assigning to some group of employees. Okay, for example, the module 1, he was assigning the team number A or team number A. So he was assigning to team number A. In the same to same, module number 2 assigning to the team number B. And now module number 3, he was assigning to the team number C. So there are 3 teams are there, guys. Team A, B, and C. So 3 modules they assigning to 3 teams. So assume that, okay, in each team, suppose in this A team, there are users are there. User 1, user 2, user 3. These are the 3 users. These are comes here. Okay, user team A. Okay. So in the same pattern, so now in team B, they're having here some users like user number 4. So user number 5. So he's a team number B. And later the team number C, there are some users, user number 6, user number 7, and user number 8. So this is what the employees and each team, there was separated some group of people, and for each group of team or each group of people, they're assigning some modules. So module 1, module 2, and module 3. So now what it was happened, okay, fine. Your project distribution was successfully done by your project lead, or it was the project will be sharing to all employees, so who are working in my company. who are working in my company. So as per the department wise, so the people, how many people are there? Okay, so suppose we are developing one database project. So I have here total 8 developers are there in my company. So 8 developers are working as a database developers. Okay, then what I did here? So 8 people I divided into like this groups, and for each group of developers, I'm assigning 1 month. Okay, so up to here, your project will be sharing now or distributing like this. Then after what it was happened, suddenly when they are going to be working time, that means the group of people are working level. Suppose team A wanted like user 1, user 2, and user 3. These are what now, guys? Here, the group of people. Suppose this group of people wanted the same privilege. My point understanding all of you. So suppose this group of people wanted the same privilege. So suppose this team A wanted, so which kind of privilege? Create a synonym privilege you wanted. Okay, na? Create a synonym. Okay, so create a synonym privilege wanted. How many people here? Not one user. Here, group of users are wanted this permission. That means entire the team A wanted create synonym privilege. Create a synonym privilege. Okay, now. So now at this moment, what I want to do, database administrator must and should be given create synonym privileges to how many people here? 3 people. So there are 3 people, 3 users are there in the team number A. So now create synonym is one privilege. So same privilege wanted how many people here? The group of people. So in that cases, what he was going to do, administrator is created roles. Administrator created roles. Okay, na? So when he was creating a role, and along with your role, he can assigning permissions to group of users. Then what happened? First, he will be created one role. Okay. So first, he will be created one role. So what is your created? So role R1. Suppose he created a role, for example. So create role R1. So in this role, he was going to be taking. Okay, which permission create, or in this role, he was taking how many users? User 1, comma user 2, comma user 3. So on the group of 3 people, they created one role. The role number is R1. So that means now tell me guys here R1 role, under R1 role, how many users are there? Come on guys, under R1 role. Okay, so how many users? How many users are there under R1 role? Come on guys, that's it. Yeah, under R1 role, how many users? 3 users are there. So user 1, user 2, and user number 3. So these 3 users comes under R1 role. So now what happened when you preparing like this here to this R1, which privilege the user or administrator is assigning? So that privilege automatically we are assigning to these 3 users. Okay, so that means here simply what you remember here, with the help of a role, we are assigning the same privilege to the group of users in a company. Okay, so but this kind of situation when it was occurred, when you're working on projects. So when you're working on project, that means so many number of users, number of employees are working on a project. So in that level, okay, in that level, some group of people wanted same privileges. Some group of people wanted same privileges. So how the administrator will provide the same privileges to group of people means at that time they will be created roles. They created role, and after creating role, so along with your role, we can assigning the privileges to group of people. Okay, now. So this is the concept of role creations now. Okay, but these roles are created by who will be created here, guys? Database administrator only created, but not other users or users or don't have any rights. Only DBA person can be creating these roles and assigning privileges to the group of users. Okay, let me see. So practically we will see it here. But before that, okay, before that, if I want to create a role, so how we can go to create a here role, like you observe, so that we called as the steps to create a role. So there are few steps are to creating role here. Okay, what are those? Let me see. Step one. First of all, create a role. This is my first step. So what is the syntax to create a role? What is the syntax to create a role? Means create role and role name. Create role and role name. What is my step number 2? Means my step number 2 is assign. Okay, assign system or object. Okay, system and object privileges to a role. Okay, now this is my second. Okay, second. Okay, step here. So now how it will be given here, the syntax will be like this. Now, so he will be using grant. Either you want it system or object privileges. System and object privileges. Okay, so to my role name. To my role name. So to which role you want assigning, to give it that. And the step number 3, okay, after that, step number 3, assign role to number of users. Assigning role to number of users. So this is what we call as guys. So when you want to assigning role to number of users, so how we can assigning guys here? So we can say grant, and now I want to give my role name to number of users. So here we can pass it. You can pass it user 1, comma user 2, comma and so on. Okay, so these are the 3 steps here. So when you want to assigning, okay, when you want to assign some system or group of privileges to the group of people, okay, so there we can create it what now? The roles we are going to be creating. Okay, fine. The same thing, let you come out and see practically. So first of all, I want to clear this. And now, first I want to connect with my admin. So after that, he will be created some new users. So user, okay, 99, identified by user 99. Create user, user 88, identified by user 88. So create user, user 77, identified by user 77. So admin was created, the 3 users here. Okay, fine. So now these 3 users, when he was trying to go for here, so user 77 he tried, but he was unable to connect. Even though user 88 also tried, so he's also unable to connect. And user 99, okay, he's also tried, but he's also unable to connect. So because this users doesn't have a connectivity permissions to database. Okay, now fine. So let me see. I want to give the permissions to these three users. Okay, I want to give connectivity permissions to these three users. That generally, what let me try. I'm going to create one role. So create role R1. Okay, first point is what now? Create role R1. So, but this role is created by who? Your administrator. Can you see my administrator? So I was login with which user? Scott user. Okay. So I tried this login here, Scott user. So Scott user is created. Okay. Okay. I need to connect first of all. Scott user. And now I want to create a role R1. So role is created successfully. Second one is what now? After role is created, then he will be give it. So grant connector to one of the privilege, connectivity privilege to R1, for example. So now this connectivity permission I'm assigning to role R1, and this R1, okay, this R1 I'm assigning to how many users here? User number 77, user number 88, and user number 99. So here I'm assigning a role R1 to U77, U88, U99. But here R1, what is the mean by R1 here? The mean by R1 is nothing but what now? Connectivity permission. So the meaning by R1 is nothing but what now? Connectivity permission. Okay, let me see what happened here. So grant is succeeded. Grant is succeeded here, right? So once grant is succeeded here, let me see, we will be connecting now. So user 77, now he will be successfully connected. Now user number 88, is also connected. Now next one, user number 99, is also successfully connected. So now what happened? So R1 is a role. That role is nothing but which role? That is connectivity role. So the connectivity role we are assigning to the three people, the group of users, U77, U88, and U99. Understand my point now? Right. So this is the way we can use roles. Suppose I want to give next level. For example, let you try this. User 99, he was okay, he was entered now. So this is which type of permission he wanted. We have it here. Let you take start from session underscore privileges. So as of now, user 99 is having only one permission, that is connectivity permission, is nothing but create session permission. So create session is nothing but connectivity permission only. In the same pattern, if I want to go for user 88, so he's also having how many types of system privileges here? Let me check. He's also having create session. That means connectivity permission only. The next user who is this here, user 77. So he's also taking here what kind of privileges he is also having create session privileges only. So that means the three users, user 99, 88, and 77, these three users are having how many privileges, how many system privileges means only one system privileges this group of people are having. And that is called a connectivity privilege. That is called a connectivity privilege. Okay, now, right. For example, let you see. Connect our administrator Scott. Okay, now he will be create one more role, create role R2 suppose. Okay, now he was assigning now grant, create synonym. Okay, next step, create view. Okay. Okay, so now we have multiple privileges I'm passing, right? So grant, creating synonym privilege is a one privilege. Creating view privilege. Okay, so second privilege. So to whom are, so here group of privileges. So group of privileges I'm assigning to roll number 2. Okay, fine. So assigning. After assigned here, then later, now this grant R2. R2 means what now? Group of privileges. There are multiple privileges I'm giving. So one is a create synonym is a one privilege. Create a view is a one more privilege. So here multiple privileges I'm assigning to R2, and that R2 I'm granting whom here user 77, user 88, and user 99. Okay, now fine. So now what happened? This user 77, 88, 99, these people are getting group of privileges or multiple privileges. Okay, group of privileges or one more privileges, we can say. So multiple privileges we are assigning to multiple users with the help of a role. Okay, in that case, what it was happen? Let you see now. So connect with for user 77 here, and once you connected, let me see now what kind of privileges he got it. Let me see your session underscore privileges. Now see, he having create, synonym, and view. So create a synonym and a view. So this is what now? So multiple, that means a group of privileges, how to assigning to group of users with the help of roles. Now let you see all people are getting now. So user 88 also getting now. Okay. So now let me see now. He is also getting view and synonym and view privileges. Like the third user, the user 99 also, you can see user 99. Okay, he's also getting the same all privileges. Okay, now. So this is what now, guys, here. The role advantage here. So with the help of roles, we can assigning the group of privileges or collection of privileges to group of people. Okay, group of people at a time by using of a role. Okay, so these are the roles and users. So user creations, user permissions, and role creations, role permissions. Okay, how it will be using by database administrator in real-time companies. So this is the scenario, guys. And one more thing, I already said to you, this database security, whatever we said, this database security concept is completely designed and handled by only database administrators, not other people. Okay, so here by taking off this DCL language commands, in our SQL, whatever the total 5 languages are there in SQL language, the sub languages we called here. So what is the sub language here? First one DDL, second one DML, and third one, okay, DRL or else DQL also called, and fourth one is called as the DCL, and fifth one is called as the DCL. So these are the total, the 5 languages called as sub languages of your SQL. So these are what? DDL, DML, DRL, DCL, and DCL. Understand now? Right. So in this, the first 4 languages are handling by database developers. Okay, and this was handling by DBA person. Okay, now so DDL commands, DML commands, DRL command, and DCL language commands. So the first 4 languages commands are completely used and using, okay, and working, handling, that all are done by developers. Okay, but DCL language commands are handled by only administrators. So that means DCL is a part of admin side operations. DCL language commands are working, and remaining 4 language commands are working as a developing side. Okay, now so these are the total 5 sub languages we have in our SQL. Okay, now right. So that all 5 sub languages are successfully completed in SQL language. Understand now? Right. And the next one is, the next topic is synonyms. The next topic is synonym. So basically, what is synonym and the synonyms, why we want to create, the purpose of synonyms are what, and what is the advantages of synonyms, and how many types of synonyms we have it here. So that we will check out in this topic, guys, here. So this is one more new topic in your SQL part. Okay, the topic name is synonyms. So basically, synonym is nothing but, simply we can say, it is a database object. It is a database object which is used to create, a permanent alias name. Okay, it will create a permanent alias name for a table, or for a database object, for a table or database object. Okay, now synonym is nothing but, it is an object which is used to create a permanent alias name, So here, why I'm saying here permanent alias name, why I'm saying here means, whatever the name we are creating, whatever some duplicate name, whatever we created, alias name is nothing but some duplicate name. So whatever we created, so those duplicate names are storing under database memories. Those duplicate names are storing under database memories, so that these are called as a permanent alias names, we call it as. So that these are called as what now? Permanent alias names, we call it. Understand now? Right. So now here observe. This is the statement of your synonym. But synonym advantage is what? Synonym advantage is what? So why we need to create a synonym means there are two advantages are there. One is to reduce lengthy table name. This is one thing. And the second one is to hide username and table name, to hide username and table name. So these are the synonyms advantages right here. There are two advantages we will be get it from the synonym. One is to reduce lengthy table name. So whenever your table name is very, very big names are there. For example, when you're working in companies, okay, in industry, when we are interacting some table names are very big names are there. So those very big and lengthy names, if I want to use again and again in my queries and when I'm doing some operations, so there I'm using again and again. So it was somewhat little bit complicated and little bit tough for the users and developers in their work premises, because that much lengthy name I want to remember, and that much lengthy name I want to write in my queries for every time whenever we are doing some operations on table. So in that cases, the people, what they will do, why should we want to remember this much lengthy name, and why should I want to write this much lengthy name again and again in my work operations? Okay, so they will create some shortcut names are created. They're creating some duplicate names are created, and those shortcut names, duplicate names are called as a synonyms. Okay. For example, let you see one example I will explain to you. So, how to reduce lengthy table name? For example, you have one table. The table name is college enrollment details. So this is one of my table name. This is one of my table name. And suppose this table name is very big name. Just assume it's very lengthy name is there. When my table name is this one, okay, college underscore enrollment underscore details. Then what it was happening, guys, here, whenever I want to perform some operations on this table, definitely for every time I need to use this table name. So I need to use this table name for every time. Is that no? For example, let you see. For example, let you see, I'm calling now this table. So I'm using select command. So select star from, okay, select star from college enrollment. If I want to write an insert command, insert into my table name and sending values. Suppose you need to write an update command, update table name, set some values. If I want to write a delete command, delete from table name, okay, so some values. So let me see, guys, here, whatever the operations we are performing on college enrollment details table, that name every time I'm using in my query. See, every time I'm using in select statement, in insert command, in update command, in delete command. So these are the lengthy names I'm using in my queries and query operations. So what it was happening here, whenever you want to write like this, okay, it was a little bit tough to the users. And it is somewhat difficult to remember this much a big name, okay, when I'm going to do some operations. Okay. So this is somewhat complicated, somewhat difficult to the users to manage this kind of lengthy table names when they're working some operation or when they're performing some operations on databases. So to avoiding this problem, what the people will do, whatever the big names are there, whatever the lengthy table names are there, on that lengthy table names, they are creating some shortcut names. They're creating some duplicate names. Okay. So now how they will be created means, for example, they create synonym S1 for college enrollment details. So that means here, whatever the shortcut name I'm creating, create synonym S1. This S1 name, whatever we created, for which purpose I'm creating for S1, I'm creating for college enrollment details table. Understanding now? So your S1 is a name, is a synonym name. So this S1 name, whatever the user or programmer is created, this S1 name I'm creating for what? For which name? For college enrollment details table purpose, or for this name purpose. For college enrollment details name purpose, I'm creating one shortcut name, and the shortcut name is called as a S1. Okay. Whenever you create a shortcut name, then what is the advantage to me? What is the advantage to me? So now, wherever, that means whenever, so these examples, whatever I'm taking here previously, before synonym this one, okay? Okay. So whatever it was there, then after created here S1, so what I'm going to do, in place of writing college underscore enrollment underscore details, I simply use S1. I simply use the S1. In the same to same, wherever, okay, wherever you use here college enrollment details. So here also I'm taking here simply S1. And now here also I will take here college enrollment details. I'm taking here S1. And college enrollment here I'm taking what now? S1. So now the point is observe carefully. So here you can see
your query. Okay, and here you can see your query. So that means what happened when I created synonym, when I create a shortcut name for this entire the table of or entire the name of this table, the next level, instead of this table name, I want to use my alias names. Okay, and that alias name is what now? Synonym. That alias name is what now? Synonym. Okay, now. So now this is one advantage of users when they want to reduce the lengthy table names. Otherwise, instead of using lengthy table names, so they are using what now? Shortcut names, and those shortcut names we are creating with the help of synonym. Understand my point now? So this is one advantage of synonym. Why the people are created? Okay, now this is one advantage. Second advantage, what I said, hide username and table name also. So username and also table. Why, sir? Why I need to provide hiding username and table name means? Yeah, this is the second advantage here. So, for what purpose we are hiding our username and table name means? For the reason of here, simple I can say for security purpose. So, for security purpose, that means synonym. The second advantage is what now? Providing security for your table. How it was providing security for your table means it was hiding your original table name and that table owner, who is the owner of that table, so owner name as well as your original table name, so both are going to be hiding by synonyms, so indirectly providing security. Okay, now, but how, sir? So that example we will discuss in tomorrow's session, guys, here. And practically, sorry, whatever the theoretically I explained here, so the practically also we will see one by one. Okay, now, so how to reducing table, what is a lengthy table name? That is a one thing we can see practical. And second one is security, I said now. So how it was providing security for your user and table name. So that also we will discuss in tomorrow's session, guys, here. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue this part. Okay, right? Thank you so much.